First of all, congratulations on It's a Wrap. This looks like it was a fun shoot, but it's also got some really interesting and thrilling moments in it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it was a fun shoot. Um, we all had just a blast putting it together, and it's so meta, and it's so we had a blast.
What is your process? I mean, what has to be on the script for you to accept a role?
You know, there has to be something interesting for me. It has to be something different from what I've done in the past. It needs to challenge me somehow. And not necessarily huge challenges, just like, oh, that's something I haven't done. I'd like to do that. Or this little thing. This one had that great turn in the third act, which was like, oh yeah, this is meaty. This is yummy.
I I keep thinking that this is a horror version of Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It really is.
you've done a great job in this, but again, you gravitate a lot to horror.
Mhm.
Is it because you love horror?
No, I'm actually a real wimp when it comes to watching horror. I'm terrible at watching horror movies. I get scared. Um, but I love making it because you get to have the extremes of expression in horror. So much when you're doing like television and stuff like that. You're a lawyer, you come in, you give a little quick bit of information, and that's it. It's you don't get to scream and yell and die and kill and it's so big, and it's fun to play with those expressions.
Yeah, I would imagine that. And also I read your quote about the food being bad, and you just love everything about being on set.
Yeah, yeah, it's terrible. It's really like, you go to work, it's going to be fun, but it's going to be miserable. There's always a certain amount of miserable when you're making a film. You're on location and you got 40 people on set all using the same bathroom.
Yeah,
That's always the worst bathroom in the house.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But again, you haven't grown up with Italians, so it's just the same in my house now. Um, but again, with working with Marcel and all that, and this must have been a great collaboration because I do know that he is very open to you bringing, character definition and your ideas to
Absolutely.
the script.
Yeah, I love working with Marcel because he really allows us and gives us the space to just bring what we want. He hires the right people and then says, "Do what you do. I trust you." And
Wow.
then if he wants adjustments, of course, he comes in like, "Okay, let's just tweak this a little, go."
And I've imagined you've worked with directors that are very hands-on and very like, oh no, you've got to raise this eyebrow, and
Oh yeah.
not letting you create the character.
Yeah, sometimes you get directors that they are so locked into exactly what their vision is that you really can't. And yet sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes those restrictions, they do know what they want. And while it feels rigid when you're doing it, it kind of translates well on film. So it's great to work with directors you trust.
It seems to be like a theatrical play.
It really is. He allowed us to do that. There's a dance scene, and we kept thinking we'd choreograph the dance scene, but we never did. We just, Adam said, "Shall we just dance?" And I said, "Let's just dance." And we just danced, and it was fine. And everyone was like, "Well, okay, we don't have to worry about choreographing that now. It's done. That's handled."
It's nice to have an improvisational dance scene and a dream ballet at the same
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
You are working with one of my dear friends, Sarah French.
I love Sarah.
I love her too, and she
Yeah.
is just an amazing and giving actress. Do you enjoy that? Again, a silly question. You obviously enjoy that repartee, that give and take, when somebody is really in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the scenes that I have with Sarah just work so well. They're just so natural. We literally could go from having a conversation to then going into our lines to then going back into a conversation. We were just, it flowed so naturally. It worked just because we were playing something that is so us.
Yeah.
You know, we're she's the younger actress, I'm the older actress. It's we really, part of it was just like, oh, I don't have to put on anything, I have to just be.
Yeah. The other thing about this is that when you're playing a character that is so close to your real life too, I mean, that gives you a lot of information into this character.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Um, Joe wrote that monologue without talking to me about it.
Hmm.
And I was able to, when I was working on it, I was able to go through and find this in my life, this in my life, this in my life, this in my life. I was like, literally, I was like, okay, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. And I had all of these, real moments in my head as I was speaking about it. So
You're constantly working. And what do you do when you're not America's favorite actress?
I drink a lot of wine.
Mhm.
I eat a
Yeah.
lot of good food. I go to the gym every day and work out.
Hmm.
Um, I'm home with my kitty cats and I have a YouTube channel.
Wow.
So
How do we find you on YouTube?
on YouTube, I'm Monique Parent,
Wow.
YT.
And
I know.
you teach makeup. You teach
I I don't even teach makeup because I'm not a makeup artist. I teach it from the perspective of somebody who's, you know, I'm going to an event.
yeah.
Now I'm doing my makeup. Oh shit, stuff just went wrong. How do I fix it? I'm on the clock. It's real life solutions for real problems.
But you have to know things like lighting and all that. I mean,
Sure. Oh, sure. But it's easy. You pop up a ring light.
yeah, there you
I have lights all around my makeup mirror.
we live in that world now. Just poke
Yes.
on.
Just
Uh,
on.
do you cook? Do you travel a lot?
I am doing some travel. Sorry, my Zyrtec has not kicked in yet. I am allergic to everything in the world
Nice.
except for cats, dogs, birch alder, and mold.
Oh, nice.
Now everyone knows.
So this is a very revealing interview.
Yes, we haven't been doing a lot of travel lately, my boyfriend and I, but we are planning to go to Europe in just a couple of weeks because there is going to be a premiere of That's a Wrap in London on August 25th. So we decided to attend.
How wonderful. That's going to be a press event.
It's going to be a huge event. It's going to be sure fun.
As people discover this film, what do you think they'll take away from it?
I hope they have a good time. That's the most important thing because this film is almost like two different films. For 2/3 of the film, it's very comedic, and then it gets very dramatic. All while having this wonderful countdown of all these bodies. Who's gonna die next? I hope that people just come away having a good time. I hope they just think that was fun. Horror audiences are smart. They're savvy. They're like, that wasn't the right blood. They should have used this blood. They should have used that blood. They're like, they're on it. But I hope they can let that go and just have fun and just go along for the ride and at the end of it go, okay, that was something. I hope that there's just a moment of silence at the end.
I want them to have as much fun as you had in making it.
I hope they do. Yeah.